Vladimirski. Ryan Weir is half the man he used to be, thankfully. We're back with another episode of TVT News. Roman Vladimirski and Ryan Weir. We got a special guest with us today, Chris Pappas, owner of Pappas Gold on Central Avenue in Yonkers. It's a jewelry store, Westchester staple, some would say. Right? Thank you for being with us today, Chris.
Glad
How's
to
it
be
going,
here.
man?
Welcome. Very good, very good. I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah? Did you
Bright
bring
and
us
early.
any jewelry?
No, I didn't know I should bring any jewelry. I thought this was
Well, this is a pro bono interview, but we should each get a Rolex out of it.
Or a couple swatches.
Swatches.
we could figure something out.
Awesome, man. So, Pappas Gold's been around for a very long time. You guys used to have a location further north on Central Avenue, a smaller store. But I know jewelry's been in your family. You guys are a family of jewelers forever.
Yes.
Tell us how that kind of started, how it transpired, and how we got to today.
Yeah, well, my uncle started the business in the late 70s. And back then it was all about flea markets. You know, just trying to hustle, make a dollar. And, one thing led to another. Flea market led to a retail store, then several retail stores. And I got involved at an early age, very early age, when all my friends were out doing things on Saturday and Sundays in the neighborhood and, going places, I was going to the store to work. And, I guess it just created a work ethic at a young age. And I've been at it ever since I was a little kid. And, we're on Central Avenue now. We have a freestanding building. And I owe it all to my uncle who started the business, just where we're at and what we're doing, trying to make it happen every day.
Now, as a kid hustling in the jewelry business, would you say that kept you out of trouble?
Oh, yeah. I was working. I was always working, Didn't really have too much time to get in trouble. It was always, even during the week, I would get out of school. I would go to work. Kids are in the park playing basketball and doing their thing, riding bikes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did all that too, but it was more about work.
Yeah.
And
Kids don't do that anymore. They really don't work. I remember I was 14. I got my working papers. I was so pumped just to go to work anywhere, make my own money. Nobody does that anymore.
Nobody. Not at all.
No, kids play video games now.
Play video games. They do all the bullshit.
Watch TikTok
nobody works.
reels.
TikTok. Everybody tries to get famous in 2 seconds. Nobody hustles.
If we didn't play sports, we were working. When we were playing sports, we would have, obviously, the time off. But when we weren't playing any sports in the afternoon, that's what we did.
Yeah. No, I try to, always recruit, friends of the families, kids to, 15, 16, 17 years old to come in and try to work part-time. And, some kids want to try it out, but it's definitely not like how it used to be. We used to always have a rotation of young help. Now it's so tough. It's so tough. Even the girls we hire, you try to hire girls in college that, could use part-time work and extra money. Not many people want to work. It's definitely tough. You hear it in all industries. People say, oh, it's hard to get, waitresses in the restaurant business or a hostess or, whatever. It's same thing in the jewelry business. To get people to work, or especially when you do get somebody to work on a Saturday is like very, very tough.
Now, if you're somebody, 15, 16, you're just starting the jewelry business, what are you doing exactly at that point in time in the business?
All right. 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
They had me in the back room. I was a polisher. I was an engraver. I was the guy who did, all the behind the scenes stuff that nobody else wanted to do. I went and got coffee. I walked the dog. I pretty much did everything and anything that you could ever imagine that a young kid could do in a jewelry store. So I was Windexing and vacuuming. I pretty much did everything. But my primary role was to polish jewelry. We always had an abundance of work. And, we had polishers that worked full time. But my thing was to help, always help. And at a young age, I was in charge of quality control.
Which is important.
Very important.
Those glass cases, you got to be able to see through them.
Yes. But especially the work coming out of the back room, somebody has to be there to make sure that the work is good enough before it goes into the client's hands.
Yeah.
And, 18, 19 years old, I was really, I was taught, by people that had really good eyes, what to look for. And, that was my role. And I did that till I was about 21 or 22 years old. And my uncle who started the business actually got sick when I was 22 years old. And I kind of got promoted from the back room to the front. And he was really teaching me the business. Now I wasn't just doing behind the scenes. Now where I was on the floor, I was selling, I was being introduced to vendors to learn how to buy. People think in my industry, in the jewelry business, that it's just about selling, where buying is just as important. You have to know how to buy. If you buy correctly, your business is going to be successful. If you don't know how to buy, just like in any business, you could be in for a rude awakening in a hurry. And my uncle actually, he had small cell lung cancer. He got sick and he passed away very quickly. I think he was sick for about 7 or 8 months and cancer took him. And I was promoted to pretty much fill his shoes. And at 23 years old, there's no 23-year-old kid who could just walk in and fill a 50-year-old man's shoes who's been doing it for 30 years. Yeah. And I was kind of pushed into a position where I had to learn. I had to grow up real quick. And
because the alternative was the business fails.
Business fails. I had family members involved that wanted to sell the business. And me, my sister, and a couple of partners kept it alive. And that whole thing I was talking about before about having good work ethic, it really came in. It came in at a young age. And, I thought I was working a lot as a teenager. As a young adult in my, early 20s, I was married to a business. And, but it also goes hand in hand when you have good help. I was surrounded by a lot of good people. Mm-hmm. So when you have that good help, it definitely makes things flow and operate a lot easier. And I was blessed. I was really blessed that, we had a successful business surrounded by good people and, just didn't know any other way. I don't want to say I don't fail. Everybody learns from failure, but I've always been determined to, I guess, succeed, do my best, try. If it works, great. Move on to the next project.
Yeah. If it doesn't, you fail, you learn something from it.
You learn something from your mistakes. That's
absolutely
in every business across the sun. And here we are.
Here we are.
I just turned 50 years old and, trucking along.
There you go.
It's obviously working.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely working. And what I was just saying about having good people, I'm very blessed. I have my sister as my partner, and she has the same mindset of not failing and being successful. And we have a good crew. I have an amazing team behind me. And I know that my success comes from the people that I'm surrounded by. And I could not say enough good things about the people that I work with. And that is definitely my biggest blessing right now.
That's awesome.
In business, I'm surrounded by great people.
Let's have a hypothetical conversation.
Talk to me.
Let's say when you're 23, 24, your family does sell the business. What's Chris Pappas doing today? Retired from the Yankees?
I wish I would have been into... I wish I was a better athlete, but I wasn't. I wasn't that good of an athlete.
Yeah, it makes two of us.
I was just average. But if I wasn't in the jewelry business 27 years later, I would have probably went to school and became an accountant. I'm good with numbers. I'm very good with numbers. That's one thing.
Okay.
Since I was a little kid, I was always phenomenal with. And I don't know. I would have probably been an accountant. I know it sounds boring, just sitting around looking at spreadsheets and doing people's taxes, but
that excites certain people.
It does excite certain people.
I see a spreadsheet, I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
No, but I'm good with numbers. That's I would have probably been an accountant. Who knows? Life takes you in different paths. But if I would have had to have did a what if scenario where I would have been 20 some odd years later, I would have probably been an accountant.
I can't see you as an accountant.
I can't either. I'm too.
I can't see it.
I like talking with people. I like interacting, and
maybe you would have been a real estate agent.
I definitely could have been a real estate agent. You know what I always said. Every time I go to a restaurant, I always say this to people. I know this has nothing to do with real estate, but I always look at waiters and waitresses, and I'm like, sometimes you get a good waiter, sometimes you get a mediocre waiter. People care, some people don't care. I love when you get good service in a restaurant. I would have been the best waiter at the most high-end restaurant somewhere, selling people expensive bottles of wine and champagne. And maybe if I wasn't an accountant, I would have been a waiter.
Maybe you would have been a waiter, and then you might have been a head waiter, and then you would have been a maitre d' and a general manager. And then who knows? You could have owned a catering hall or some shit.
I may have. I love eating out, as you can see.
We're fans. We're fans.
Big fans.
I like the restaurant business. So, well, I don't want to say I like the restaurant business. I like
good quality.
I like good quality
products.
stuff. Yeah, I like nice places.
Sure.
And I appreciate. When you meet a restaurant owner and they do put their life into it. Restaurant owners, I think I work a lot of hours in the jewelry business. Restaurant owners.
Oh, you want to talk about married to your business?
Oh, forget it.
You'd never go home.
No. Restaurant owners work a lot. Yeah. And maybe I would have been a restaurant owner. Who knows? But
that's cool.
That would have definitely been the path.
That's cool.
Something
That's
like
cool.
that. But I would have definitely started out being a waiter. I love good service. Good food, good drink, that all comes hand in hand. But good service, I think, means so much. And you want me to tell you something? In the jewelry industry, it means a lot, too. When people come in and they see that the owner is hands-on and involved. I don't want to say I'm involved in every transaction. I'm not. But
it's cool when you are. Right? I know if I'm coming into your store, I love seeing you.
Roman,
it's awesome.
People do like to talk with the owner of whatever business you walk into, whether if it's jewelry store, clothes store, whatever, a coffee shop. People like to talk to the owner. And I get it. Even just saying hello to somebody. If you're with another client and you come over and you just shake somebody's hand, you acknowledge them and you let them know that they're there. Thanks for coming, shake the hand on the way out, appreciate your business. It means a lot.
And I think it also means it helps repeat business. Because I know when if I'm driving down Central Avenue and I pass by your store and I'm in the car with somebody, it's cool to say, I know the owner. And if they ever need a piece of jewelry, that's where they're going to go. Because I know the owner. So as many people know you, it definitely helps your business for repeat clients and even new clients.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And the other thing that really, really helps is when you remember somebody's name.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in, I'm like, Roman, what's up? And you're with a friend or a family member or the first time in the store. Oh,
huge.
Like, he really does know this guy.
Goes a long way.
It does. Yeah. It does. And, it's hard to remember everybody's name, but when you do remember people's names, it helps tremendously.
For
Definitely.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
so
just another.
In all the years you've been in business, and this is a very interesting question, I really want an honest assessment. How has jewelry styles changed from when you started to where you are now? Because I know watches are in now, right? Although watches have been in forever. But we go from big chains to small chains, medium chains, bracelets, no bracelets. I used to have my my cartilage pierced. Shut up, don't say anything.
Oh my God.
It's funny that you asked that. It's just like, in fashion, styles come and go, and then they come back. And right now, where we are, when I first got into the business, or when I was first starting to help, yellow gold was everything. Then in the mid-90s, yellow gold kind of took a back seat. In our area, white gold totally took over. And we had like almost 20, let's say 23, 24, 25 years of white gold was the staple in my business. Now, yellow gold is back. And not just is yellow gold back, but styles from the late 80s and early 90s are also back. So we're seeing that cycle of, 20, 25 years later, styles come back, colors come back. And I think it's totally interesting because there's certain things that I thought would just die and never come back, but they're here. And, when people come in and they ask for herringbone chain was in the 80s and early 90s. And now we have people coming in asking for herringbone chain. I'm like, really? I got to make sure we have enough herringbone chain in the store. And that's just one category. Yeah. There's dozens and dozens of things that are back from the 80s and 90s. But
and you really have to pay attention to pop culture
trends
to make sure that, because you mentioned buying earlier, to make sure you have enough stock and inventory of what people are looking for. So you're probably at home watching E all day just to keep up.
I do watch E. That's funny that you mentioned that.
Back while it's polishing.
I mean, we get a lot of good trade publications that always keep us in the loop of where styles are, what's trending, not just here in New York or in the U.S., but things that are trending in Europe. And we're always up on the most current trends. And as far as selection and inventory, that's one thing about our store is we do not hesitate to bring in trendy merchandise or, a lot of jewelers spend their money on bread and butter items. That's how they keep the shelf stocked. And I get it. It's always, you have to have the bread and butter items. But what makes us different from, I want to say, almost all the stores in Westchester and the Bronx is that we have all the trendy items. Some things sell a lot faster than others, but we always take chances. We're young, we're definitely innovative, and we're not afraid. We're definitely not afraid to take chances. And people come in and they love the selection. Pretty store goes hand in hand with selection, price, service. We really pride ourselves on, all four of those sets of criteria. And I think that's one of the reasons that, people come back and refer their friends is because, we do have a selection. We have a good selection.
So as a customer, I had an amazing experience at your store. I don't know if I ever told you this, Ryan. Before AJ was born, like a month before AJ was born, I wanted to get my wife for Christmas, and she was due around the same time. I wanted to get her a ring with our kids' initials, an M for Madison, and we were about 95% sure that we were going to name Alex. And I walk in, and I'm telling him what I want, and he walks over to the ring selection, and he has a ring with an M and an A already made, as if it was made for me. It wasn't made for me, though, was it?
We have so many samples in the store. And that was a crazy coincidence. But we do have a lot of, I don't know. In my head, I always try to think of the most popular initials, most popular combinations of initials. And M&A was definitely on my mind at one point.
That was awesome. I was like, I have to buy this. And his name, I hope to God, at that point was going to be Alex. And it was.
Well, and that was just weeks before he was born,
I bought it a month before he was born.
Month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes things are meant to be.
Yeah.
You never know.
He's definitely an Alex.
So you make a lot of your own jewelry as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We do a lot of in-house special orders. We do a tremendous amount of special orders, but
oh, that's right. I remember the necklace. Yeah.
We,
I love this thing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And as far as stock items, my jewelers in the back room are constantly working. They're never just sitting around, doing nothing. They're always working. And getting back to having good staff and good help. But we're always making new stuff. We're, right now we're 5 days a week in the summer. But the 5 days that my jewelers are working, they're there to produce, and they're really good at what they do,
And they produce, man. You guys
really
have some
do.
sick shit.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of competition here in Westchester? Do you consider each other competition?
Yeah, no, there's other good stores in the area. Yeah, no, there's definitely several good stores in Westchester and the Bronx. But I always see that other people are worried about what I'm doing, where I'm not really worried about what other jewelers are doing. I'm worried about what's going on in my store. And as far as promoting, selling, doing the right thing, I really don't have too much time to worry about what the guy down the road is doing or what the guy in the next town is doing. We're selling small items. There's enough business out there for everybody to make a living.
Sure.
I wish everybody the best,
Well, if people are paying attention to what you're doing, that means you're doing something right.
I think so. When I do sit back and think about it, I'm like, if this guy is worried about where I'm putting money into advertising or putting money into what types of items that I'm stocking, or we see each other at trade shows and we'll shake hands and, hey, how you doing? Oh, we got to get together, get a drink or have dinner one night. It's just conversation. It's nice to make that conversation with people. But then I can't believe when other people are worried about what vendors I'm going to see. Like, come on. You go to a trade show, there's 1,000 vendors there. Go be original, be unique.
Yeah.
Make your own relationships. Don't worry about what I'm doing. But, sometimes people are just, hung up on what we're doing. And I can't
always
do
looking
nothing
over
about
their
that.
shoulder.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I take it as a compliment. It's...
Absolutely. Imitation's the greatest form of flattery.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. So, I got a question for you. So, and again, this is obviously because I'm not in your industry and I don't know. So, you said you're always working on buying and keeping the shelves stocked. And is there a concern, like me, I'm walking into your store and your shelves are always full. From an owner's perspective, are you concerned about stuff like why is it still sitting there? Or is that intentional, obviously?
No, it's
for the
definitely not
viewer?
intentional. No. We want to buy merchandise that's going to sell.
Sure.
And we always want to replace quick sellers, fast sellers. But the conversation comes up every time my accountant comes in. He always says
Leave
that
it to
we're
the
running,
accountant.
that we're running too high of an inventory. And, we do what we can to sell off what we have, especially old merchandise. That's our number one priority. New merchandise is going to sell automatically, but it's how do you get rid of the old?
Yeah.
And right now we're running a sale. We do a summer sale every year.
Love that sale. Big fan of the sale.
A lot of people are big fans of the sale. People wait all year for our sale. I mean, it's a good sale, but
you don't have to say it because this is going to air in September by the time the sale's over.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be over by then.
But it's a good sale.
It's a good sale. Yeah. Next year, if you want to come shopping in August, it's our summer sale is a great sale, and people will buy in August and save for Christmas,
Smart.
or for their anniversary or their birthday, because if you could save an additional 15 or 20%, and what your girlfriend, your wife, whoever, you need to buy for the next occasion. It just,
It's a
15 or
no-brainer.
20% is a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
An extra on top of what we already discount.
Yeah.
So, it's a good sale. That's the best thing I can say. But as far as keeping a trim inventory, that's probably the hardest part of our business. Sometimes people come in and they'll be impressed and they'll be like, oh my God, I've never seen this much jewelry in a jewelry store before. And I'd be like, tell me about it. I know, I feel it. I look at the report numbers. I know how much we're floating out there. But we do our best. The sales associates I have are just, they're there knowing what we need to move along. And, sometimes things take longer than others, but it's not like food where food is perishable and you got to worry about it going bad.
Yeah.
In my industry, if it gets old, we melt it, and we turn it into cash at another time. But
that's cool.
Yeah, trying to run the tightest inventory is very important.
It'd be nice if I could melt the house and just turn it into a new construction house.
How cool would that be?
That would be amazing. Holy shit. We should try to figure out how to do that.
I always wonder how you keep because you have so much inventory, how you keep everything so spotless in every single display case. And it's not like you can just wipe down. You have to obviously remove everything, do everything little by little. It's like immaculate every time you walk in there.
Yeah, no, we definitely put a lot of pride into how we merchandise the cases. The cases are in tip-top shape. We really... there is a lot of downtime in the jewelry industry, so the girls are constantly rearranging, cleaning, steaming, having things polished. It's part of pride. It's definitely part of the
presentation too.
Yeah, it means a lot. It definitely means a lot. If you come in and you see something that's dirty or discolored, and you're not going to ask to see it. You want to see the shiny, brightest, cleanest diamond piece that's sparkling. And, having our new look, and it's not new anymore. We've been in this store, the new building for 5.5 years. But when you have the right presentation and you have good lighting and you have nice displays, clean displays, it helps sell the product.
Yeah.
Our old problem was when we were in our old store, we had so little space.
Yeah.
And we had, a good amount of inventory, and things were like piled on top of each other, and you really couldn't appreciate the beauty of certain pieces because they were hidden, just piled on top of one another. But now, the way we have things set up, it's much more pleasurable to the eye.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Two more questions. You get nervous? You good? You okay? Has it been good? All right, good. Just want to make sure you're
good. Yeah.
So, business has been here for 30, 40 years. And as an owner that has basically taken it through so many different times, you really embraced social media. How has that changed the way your business is run today? How has it helped you guys this day and age?
So, we were always big on advertising.
Okay.
When I took over the business 27 years ago, I, kind of inherited the advertising means that we were, supplied with at the time,
Newspapers.
Yeah.
Magazines.
We were big, in the Bronx. We were advertising Bronx Penny Pincher, Bronx Times Reporter.
Penny Pincher. That's
Pincher,
still around.
Tremont Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
The lady who owned it is like a second mother to me.
Yeah.
Name's Barbara. Great people.
Shout out to Barbara.
Her and her daughter, Nani. Yeah, great people. In Westchester, we had the Penny Saver, Clipper Magazine. We did TV commercials, direct mail. We did everything, and that's what we had.
You were
at
in a
the
commercial?
Time. Excuse me?
You were in a commercial?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to find it.
We'll go into the archives.
Let's do it.
I'll show you an old commercial. But we really... we always spent money on advertising. We were never afraid. We always wanted to have our name out there. But when social media came into play, I don't know. I just, had a feeling, that was the direction that the world was moving in. And, we didn't go crazy at first. It was a slow journey, but how long ago was MySpace? 15 years ago?
Yeah, far back.
No, I'm saying from MySpace till now, where we are.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, we have come a long way. But, we're still trying to, figure out social media. And that's why guys like, Fran and Tony and Mike, Why Not You Media, big shout out to these guys. They definitely helped us. And, they have a different perspective on where social media is going. And, I take their advice and, we're just moving forward.
You either get on the train or get left behind.
100%. 100%. I knew when I met these guys that they thought a little differently. They were 20 years younger than me. And I knew that we had to, roll with something new and exciting. And Instagram, Facebook, it's just, where people are right now. They're, everybody's on their phones looking at reels all day, and you have to be out there. If you're not out there right now, you're being left behind.
1,000%. So no more commercials. We're not doing commercials anymore. Mostly social media.
Mostly social
Smart
media.
Man.
We're still doing direct mail to our customer base, because it's nice when somebody,
Sure.
not everybody, older people, not saying that older people aren't on social media.
My grandma scrolls for hours.
Okay. But there's many more grandmas that are sitting at the kitchen table still looking at their mail. Yeah. And that's where a couple times a year we do a direct mail to our customer base, not just random out to, just trying to land, new clients aimlessly. But, when you target your existing mailing list, there's a good response. But if I'm spending money right now, social media is where I'm putting my dollars.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Without
Love
a doubt.
All right. Last question. Ready?
Yeah, I'm
Closer question.
Let's hear it.
If you can give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be? Yeah, everybody has that same reaction.
I would have definitely done some things differently. You look back and you realize what your mistakes were. But like we said before, you learn from your mistakes. And I think I've done a pretty good job of rebounding and fixing, certain situations that I won't put myself in again. And I was with my nephew yesterday. He's 11 years old. And I tried telling him, I'm like, yo, if you just listen to me, I could tell you the mistakes that I made, and you won't have to make them as you get older. But my father, my uncles, my older cousins, they tried telling me the same things,
they never
when I was a kid, and nobody wants to listen.
No.
When you're a young kid, a teenager, you think you know everything, and everybody else is old. But if there's any young kids out there that are up to listening to their adult family members or friends of the family, you should take the advice.
Yeah, I should have took it too. I hear you.
But
Life
we're here.
Is what it is.
It is what it is, and you learn from your mistakes, just like we said.
Chris, man, thank you for your time. This was awesome.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. All right. That was TVT News Podcast. We'll see you next time.